Welcome to the channel. I'm Volcano-AC, and today I will show you how I fix the quarter input jack of my PRS SE electric guitar. It happens that it is not working anymore, and sometimes what happens is that the southern part of the input jack gets undone. So I'll show you a method in which I avoid the hassle of soldering myself, and I will upgrade the input jack. Alright, let's get started. What I'll use instead of the original input jack is the nickel-made, pre-wired and pre-soldered pure tone PTT1 multi-contact mono output jack for electric guitar that I found in Amazon. I paid only $13 plus tax, and the shipping was free because I have the Amazon Prime deal. This is not a sponsored video. I paid for this input jack with my own money. Alright, let's go straight to the repair. And this is the Amazon package. Actually, it's an envelope in which I received the 1/4 inch input jack for the guitar. Let's open it up here, and here it is. You can see that the 1/4 inch comes ready to be installed and no soldering is needed. This is the pre-wire pure tone 1/4 inch jack. Let's take it out of the plastic bag and look at it. It has a white cable and a black cable, so I'll be making the connections accordingly. Look at these. The connections are pretty solid. They're actually very nicely well protected, and you can see that the contacts for the 1/4 inch connector are double, so that's fantastic. So now let's remove the plate of our original 1/4 input jack so that we can take it off. So I started with my screwdriver, and now I'm just gonna do it with my hand. Take the plate with the part, and just like I mentioned at the beginning, the soldering came undone on this original input jack. So now let's go to the back of the guitar, and I'm gonna use my screwdriver to take all these 3 screws. Alright, now ready to remove the plate. There we go, and that's how it looked like. Let's take the cables, and you can see that the cables just came off of our original input jack. So that's one white cable that will go with the new white cable, and the side of the gray cable that actually corresponds to the new black cable. So all we need to do is connect one with each other, and we should be in good shape. So this is a plate. I need now to remove the older part of the input jack. So but just first take a look of the double contact versus the original single contact. So the arrow in the double contact one, that's gonna be much better for me. And now let's start the removal process first of the nut of this plate. So here we go, and now let's move the washer, which is right behind the nut. I'll put it right here. Now we have the plate, and this is the old input jack. I'll put it on the side, and this is the new one. So now I want to make sure that the plate works well with this new input jack. Actually, it should. However, before I do or I go any further, I want to make sure it works as it should. So same thing, remove the nut first, and now the first washer. Look that there's 2 washers there, but we only need to remove the first and keep the biggest, which is the second one that goes behind the plate. Okay, plate goes in. Now backwards goes the washer, and now the nut. All right, now turn around. Let's start to tighten it. And something important is you don't want to have this nut loose here on the plate. You really want to make sure it's nice and tight, so I'm gonna use my wrench here just so that it's nice and tight, okay? Not super tight, but tight enough. All right, it's looking good. So now before I put it on the guitar, I want to make sure it really goes in, and look at that beautiful double contact that it does. So this should be a really good input jack. So now we go ahead and I'll start cutting the wires to taste. Actually, you can use the length that you need. In my case, I like to leave them a little bit longer just because that way, in case in the future I need to do something, I still have wires to play around. So I realized here in my tool number 16 was the best one in order to remove kind of like the sleeve of these wires. So let's go ahead and do that. That's the black. Now let's move on to the white. Okay, I think that's enough. Now we can peel it downwards. And you can see we have the wire exposed. That's the black one. Now let's do the same thing for the white one. Alright, now let's pass our wires through the guitar hole all the way to the area where we're gonna do the connection. Now make sure the plate is almost in the right place. We're not gonna screw it yet, but we want it in the correct place. Now let's connect the white with the white. Just gonna twist one in the other. Make sure they're making really good contact, because the last thing you want is that this thing gets undone again and that you have to go through the process of opening the back of the guitar to reconnect the wires. Alright, the white one is good. Now let's do the black. It's gonna be black with black. There we go. We have the new and the old cables just connected to each other. Okay, now that is nice and tight, let's pull our first screw so that the plate now is not gonna move. It's gonna stay nice and tight. And I really like to use electric tape. I peeled a little bit more the cables just so to make sure that there's contact at all times, even when I'm rocking around later. In the case the guitar moves, or maybe I get too excited and bang the guitar around, then cables will stay in place, doing a really nice and good contact. There we go. Now we have all four cables connected where they need to, and just so that these cables are not moving around, I will just put another electric tape and snug it really nice in this area. And now let's do our first test. There we go. It is working great. All right. So now we can actually tie the screws on the plate. So let's go ahead and do that. Since we noticed that it gave us a really good signal, now I can go ahead and put the screws in. Alright, now let's do a final test to make sure that our input jack is working. Alright, it is working great. So put in the comments below if there's a specific brand of input jack that you like or that you will recommend others, for those especially that don't know exactly what to buy. Alright, and that's all for this video. Smash the like button if you found something helpful, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.